Meow, Huples cat drinking coffee. Been a lot of nonsense online about coffee and long-term storage recently. This is an extremely cheap make. I bought this from No Frills in 2015. It's been stored in a temperature controlled house in a basement in a big bucket. It is absolutely past its sell-by date. The reason I'm drinking this, and Kitty, who's very fussy, says it's fine, it's not great, it's fine, is because the packet's Mylar and it was solid when I bought it, because they've removed all the air and filled it with nitrogen or with carbon dioxide or whatever they use. So there's actually been no oxygen in this. Now obviously over time the coffee is going to break down anyway. This coffee's 6 years past its sell-by date. It's really cheap coffee and it's totally drinkable. A lot of prepping is myths. People find something out and it goes out and becomes folklore. You can't do this, you can't do that. If it's not going to cost you too much, give it a go. See if they're actually correct. Will brown flour actually survive 10 years? I mean, until you try it, you don't know. Chances are anything with fat in won't. However, the whole point of today is this is yet another unpacking long-term storage food in a nuclear apocalypse video from me. Yeah, I stored a lot of food, but these two boxes are really fun and I think you'll enjoy these. So that's the two totes in the basement. First off, let's have some fun. Found a whole bunch of hardware. Look, flashlights. They work. Great. And does this one work? Yeah, it does, because I've tried it already. This is a Husky flashlight. I'd probably never buy this. It's not really that bright. It's pretty heavy. It's metal. The batteries were done in it, and as you can see, it's not great. It's a very dim day today, but I'll keep it. Lightweight bamboo cutlery set, always useful. The heck is this? This, I know what this is. This is a cheap compass. And if you put a compass on metal like this, you won't get an accurate result. If you take it off and let it relax, keep it away from metal, like axes and stuff like that that may be in your pockets, it will be good. So be wary of that. So north is in fact that way, but when you put it down near metal, you may or may not get an accurate result. Also rubbish, got it in a bundle. It's a stick snapper for the BioLite. Not sure I'm actually going to keep this or not. Coverings for food. They're biodegradable and reusable. A Stanley cook set. Not used. I must have 3 of them. This is also from a bundle. I had this before, I have used it. I didn't think it was any good at all. I'm actually going to get rid of that. A free empty bag, no idea why that's there. This stuff's kind of boring, isn't it? However, this is one of many BioLite lamps I have, and you can string them up. They're designed to fit into the lantern, but it'll fit into pretty much most power sources from BioLite. And there is a flat pack panel. Pretty cool. Solar Plus 5. I've used these in the field. I find they work great. Quite happy with it. I get these with the onboard battery because I like to have power stored. Yeah, happy with that. This of course was the piece de resistance, an actual BioLite cook kettle with stove. Now I'm not sure whether I actually charge this up or not, so let's see what happens. And there's the battery indicator, pretty low. So before this gets restored, and I'm not going to store this with the food this time, it's going to be stored separately, I'm going to recharge it. So I got the 5 buckets because I figured I had these 2 totes, but I actually have 2 more totes in the garage, so I'm not altogether sure what I'm going to do. I may have to get even more buckets. I had a lot of food. Speaking of the food, this is going to be thrown out. I'm not sure of any of this. I could reuse the sugar, but we don't use sugar anyway, and it's rock hard and I can't be bothered. I know the peachy slices don't work. The white chocolates from work for flu vaccine for Kitty probably. She got 1 a year. And the bouillon cubes and everything else and the oil and the stuff I know is rubbish. So this is only a tiny fraction of the food, but this is not edible. This is coffee. Like I said, I'm going to have a good look at this. Any packets that are way past their expiry date that aren't sealed probably will get chucked out, which is probably most of these. I also randomly put these in. Big lighters, Lara bars, some seeds, some plastic implements, some tea bags. Yeah, rice and stuff. Some wheat berries. I'm actually going to put that separately and store that with the wheat grinder. That would be smart, eh? Bulgur. Not sure if that's gone off badly or not. It's only about 6 months past the expiry date. We don't really have a use for it, so I'm going to restore that. The chances are in 5 to 10 years time it won't be edible, but we'll give it a go because it is wheat. Spaghetti will last forever as long as it's dry. spaghetti, ancient grains, same. Garbanzo beans, green lentils, they'll all live forever. The rices, they're pretty long-term storage. Kitty wants to use this up now, so this won't be going into storage. There is some porridge, some lentils of different types with green peas, and some haricot beans. Not sure about this, plastic containers. I'm going to avoid these like the plague. Kitty's looked at it and said, yeah, it'll be alright, store it. So okay, I will. Kitty has been eyeing the pineapple, and so she should. Like I say, in the future when I get established in the new place, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy pineapples and stuff like that when they're in season fairly cheap, and dehydrate them myself and store them in Mylar with oxygen absorbers. I think it's worth doing. As I've said, I've had very poor results with fruit. However, this is heavier than lead. It's 3 litres of whole peaches in light syrup. It doesn't look bad, but I was going to chuck it out because for the energy requirement and everything else, it's heavy, really heavy. It doesn't go off till the middle of 2023, so it's actually not even going to expire for 2 years. Low in actual nutrition for the weight and size of it. Talk to Kitty, and Kitty's going to keep it out, and before we move she's going to make probably a peach cake of some description, because it is just basically whole peaches in syrup. So, you know, you can see everything I got here, some more yeast and stuff like this, calcium multivits, soap and syrups and honeys and chocolate and mints and great stuff that, and salt, and I'm really happy with this. Potatoes haven't actually expired, so they're good to go for probably 3 to 4 years in temperature control. Same with the fish. I actually found these in there, and I'll probably keep them out. These are actually vegan type foods for exploring, and I'll probably keep them out, and I'll probably use them this summer or next summer in the wilds. So that's it for me from this episode of unboxing a hoarder's amount of food in a house before you move. Yeah, I would say I did a good job storing food. I think if security wasn't an issue and moving wasn't an issue, I have a lot of food and I have the ability to cook the food using the rocket stoves and the wood I have in the area and the wood I have stored. So I think I was set up well. What I wasn't set up for most people would be water. But like I said, in this area I have the big Berkey, I have various filters, I have tablets, I have a lot of running clear water that doesn't come out of agricultural, industrial lands. The headwaters actually rise about 2 to 3 miles that way, and most of it's coming through forests that haven't got any spraying done in them. So I'm quite happy with my ability to get water in most circumstances. So what do you guys think? Have I stored too much food, too little food? Do you think I've stored what you thought I'd stored? Like if you knew me online and you knew where I lived and you lived close to me and I died, or you killed me, would you expect to have found this amount of food in this suburban house? Interesting question. It is always going to be worth, when it is safe, going very carefully through abandoned vehicles and abandoned homes in SHDF. You never know what you'll find. Once society collapses, if indeed it does fully collapse, remember nothing's getting made anymore other than maybe wooden spoons, and nobody needs a wooden spoon with so much cutlery. So be very careful about early on safely looking at certain people and certain places and thinking about long-term storage that they may have, or items they may have, that actually will be good for you. Don't be like most people. Don't run to the store and run out with a large TV or an Xbox if nuclear war is about to start. Think about what you're actually going to get and how you're going to get it. Remember that most people won't be looking at fresh fruit. They won't be dehydrating in a crisis situation, but you will. And you'll also be grabbing as many organic potatoes and sweet potatoes and onions and stuff like that from the middle of the store as you possibly can. And then storing them to make a store of seed food for you later on. Canned potatoes are great, but once you open them and eat them, they're not much use to you. A bag of organic 5-pound potatoes, if you're managing not to have to eat it because you've got enough stored food, the next spring can actually become 50 pounds of potatoes the next fall, and then you keep 10 pounds of that, and then etc., etc., until you have your capacity for growing. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and even a subscription helps boost my ego. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. Tell me why in the comments below. By all means, interact. I know food hoarding videos are popular. I've never quite understood why, but it is always interesting to see what people store. I'm 56, I am a vegan. I've been a vegan for about 10-15 years. Yes, there is fish here. Yes, there is some dairy products here. That's because in Grid Down, I am fully aware that a strict vegan diet will not be tenable. I am also aware that a strictly carnivorous dairy-based diet has got no chance for most everybody of being a long-term diet and an actual societal fail until supply lines are re-established, if indeed they're re-established. You need to get a decent vegan cookbook. Kitty has probably more than 50 cookbooks, and because we're moving, she's actually been shedding them and storing them and giving them away. And what she's left with is this following collection of 6 books. So I think this is kind of an interesting collection, just to give you an idea of the types of book that she has. You can see she heavily uses these. This was actually from a subscriber of mine who's very, very generous with masks and stuff. It's actually kind of a fun book. I won't show you that because it's personal. And this is out because I need to actually review it. Como Kitchen, squeezing soya beans. Tofu is actually a great thing. You can do edamame and you can make your own tofu and Grid Down, and then you have a really nice source of protein. These I think she left out because I gave her them as gifts. This is out because the Instapot I think is going out. I bought her this in the last desperate attempt to get her to use the Instapot. I think it's going out. I think the Instapot is definitely something we will never use. We haven't used it and she doesn't want to use it, so this is probably going out. She loves these, the Oh She Glows series. It's kind of yuppie, but the recipes are easy and actually accessible and are different enough to make it quite fun. And like I say, she has a couple of these. So I would recommend, if you're looking for a book, you can get it cheap, and oftentimes you'll find these in second-hand stores very cheap. Go for the Oh She Glows every day. Oh She Glows is what you want to look for in a vegan book. This has been a 2021 Wolfie Terrier production.